Hi, it's Tara Green. I'm Agent 129 of the Cosmic Intelligence Agency page. Still seem to be going on here. I can see myself on the screen. Okay. Oh, wow, I can actually see the moderation here. So if I'll wait a couple minutes until share this to groups, it says. Wait a minute. Okay. Hold on a minute. I'm still kind of new to this. Anyway, say hi to me. I'm watching also on my phone. Hopefully I can see this. So I'm just waiting a couple minutes till people can come on and see me here. I can't hear myself as well. So if there's anybody out there, please say hi. I see two little eyes there. So hi, welcome. Yeah, I should be able to see you guys, right? On the live video, right? Let's see, why can't I see you live? Okay, hang on a second, guys. I should be able to see myself live here, right? Hold on, just come and say hi. I'm gonna wait a few minutes to get started. Okay, anybody else there? Can you hear me okay? Please comment if you can hear me. Hi, Mary Lou. Okay, hi, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, let's see. Okay, hi. Okay, great. Okay. A few people coming on here now. I'm going to wait another few minutes till I get started. Okay. Okay, can you hear me? I'm asking people, can you hear me? All right. Okay. Well, it's 8 o'clock here at 8 p.m. in Toronto, Canada. I'm Agent 129, coming here to welcome you to January 2021 Tarot and Astrology preview. I think Yulia posted a little preview by another astrologer about the aspects of 2021. So I will go over those in general, talking about 2021. And then I'm going to pull, if you haven't been here before, what I do is I talk about the astrology aspects in general, and then I pull one tarot card, one major arcana for each of the signs. So you have to be patient in turn, okay, while I do that, okay? So numerologically, 2021 adds up to the number 5. So the number 5 is it's a universal number 5 year, and I don't know if you can see that. This is the card number 5 in the tarot called the Hierophant. This is the Thoth deck that I use. There we go, Thoth deck. And in most decks, this is called the Pope or the High Priest. So either way, whatever you want to call them. So this symbol represents the energy, the overall energy that we need to learn about, that we're going to be going through in 2021. So the number 5 is midway in, excuse me, and the numbers going from 1 to 10. Sorry, number 5 is midway. So in the smaller tarot cards, in what they call the minor cards, sorry, I have to take a drink here. In the minor tarot cards, number 5 is in the middle, so they're always considered to be quite a testing. Now, the number 5 is also the symbol associated with Venus. And on this card, I don't know if you can see it, the Hierophant is associated with the sign of Taurus, okay? Now, so it means that whereas 2020 was ruled by the Emperor, which was Aries, fire, a new foundation, power, okay? We started kind of a new archetypal sequence in 2021. Excuse me. In 2021 here, the number 5 indicates that we're going to be very embodied. It's material, Taurus, the first sign of the zodiac. So it's about being in the Garden of Eden and really reevaluating what has meaning to us on the most fundamental levels. Okay, so if we're dealing with Taurus energy, we have to also remember that Uranus, the planet that governs Aquarius, and I'm going to talk about the big Aquarius thing, of course, for this year. Uranus is really ruling, in a modern astrology sense, what's going on through the sign of Taurus. So we've got to remember that. So Taurus ruled by Venus, it's always about beauty, about love, about harmony, about the arts, about relationships, creativity, appreciating, everything that we can taste, touch, smell, feel, sense, and then there's the higher senses as well. Now the number 5 is the symbol of Venus in her upturned pentagram, because Venus makes those 5 star points in her 8-year cycle. So the number 5 Roses are sacred to Venus because roses have 5 petals. So many flowers work on that number 5 symbolism. So according to this card, what the Pope symbolizes is, traditionally we would associate the Pope or a high priest with somebody who's a mediator, a spiritual mediator, talks to God, especially as the Pope. That's our projection, that the Pope has that ability. But in this deck, it really is about everyone having their own inner, concrete, solid foundation of being able to talk to God, to Mother Nature, to the Great Mystery, to whatever it is, the Goddess, whatever you want to call it, themselves. So there's no outside authority. You do not give your power away to anybody or anything outside of yourself unless you qualify it physically in your body with your gut instincts. And everybody has gut instincts. It takes the whole psychic realm into a much more pragmatic state. Like farmers, if you live in the country, you always know when it's going to rain, or you sense storms, or you just feel it, right? So very down to earth, practical spirituality, and a sense of really filtering everything, not through the ego, but through the higher self. So this year it's very challenging, that's the number 5, to get in touch with your higher self, but extremely rewarding, and the only way to speak. So if you do yoga, the number 5 is associated with the 5th chakra, which is the throat, and Taurus is also associated with the throat. So we need to speak from our higher selves with our throat, okay? And in this deck, of course, it's very feminine, so it shows the goddess Isis standing in front of the masculine high priest. So she's really the one who's the spirit, the intuition, the feelings, the senses, the psychic realms, okay? So I think that's really a good thing, okay? And that makes sense to me. Now, of course, the big deal this year, of course, we're moving into this. You've all heard about this, of course, on, well, can you believe it's just barely a week ago? On December 21st, on the winter solstice, of course, Jupiter and Saturn entered Aquarius. Okay, so in the tarot, the sign of Aquarius is the number 17, which is the star. And traditionally, it's about wishing on stars. And Venus is also considered to be the wishing star, when she's in her evening star appearance. So Aquarius, it's about higher consciousness in modern astrology. It's about bringing down that cosmic wisdom from the higher realms and really dispensing it down on the earth, okay? So the new Aquarian age. So Aquarius, of course, in 2021, you're the ones who are going to get most of the attention. And as for the overall aspects this year, besides Jupiter and Saturn moving through Aquarius, all the fixed signs are getting the attention. Aquarius is still a fixed sign. So Aquarians get the most attention, but also Capricorns, you still are in the mix here because traditionally Saturn rules Capricorn and Aquarius. So Capricorns are going to have to change it up and think differently and innovate and be pioneering and radically alter the same old structure. That's what Aquarius is all about. Traditionally, Saturn and Aquarius represents a kind of an ideal humanism, okay? So when Jupiter and Saturn are in Aquarius, now Jupiter does tip his toe into Pisces, which is another one of the signs he rules this year for a little bit, and then he'll move formally into Pisces about a year from now. But with Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius, it also benefits Sagittarians because Jupiter rules Sagittarians and Pisces, so they're going to have to change up the whole order. Plus, the South Node is in Sagittarius until later this year, moving backwards through Sagittarius. So we're releasing a lot of old philosophies, history. They're tearing down old statues, belief systems, philosophies to reboot, to make way for something new. So we're all collectively rebooting our systems, our ideas, our philosophies, right? Changing history. There's new discoveries, radical new discoveries every day as well. So Jupiter and Saturn Aquarius benefits all the air signs. That's Gemini and Libra as well by a trine. And again, squares, Jupiter and Saturn will be squaring the fixed signs. So Taurus, again, remember Uranus and Taurus, okay? And Scorpio, as well as Aquarius. Okay, now, the major aspect this year is the Saturn-Uranus square. So Saturn, the planet of reality, testing, hard knocks, the taxman, the grim reaper, father time. Saturn is Saturn. And of course, Saturn moves through all the signs, taking on all the colors of all the signs. So Saturn is still Saturn, the father, okay, the patriarchy. So Saturn will be squaring Uranus. So this is definitely a battle. We could see it as a battle between good and evil, or the old boys club, Saturn, the patriarchy, and Uranus, the innovators. Somebody wants to take apart the old system and make something new. Now, of course, Aquarius rules the internet, and it rules cryptocurrency. And I guess if you bought, Bitcoin years ago, you're laughing today. So the Saturn-Uranus squares, the first one, there's 3 of them this year, February 17th, June the 14th, when the planets are retrograde, and then December 24th, right on Christmas Eve, a year from now. So that means the crunch, the big forces are going to be battling each other. Okay, so the old versus the new. Now that can also bring restrictions with the internet, and I'm really intuiting that the internet is going to go totally down, kaput. We are going to be without it. So I would be very wary of backing up your money in the bank, not trusting all the cryptocurrency stuff. My spirit guides are saying this is all a big hoax, scam, and stuff like that. So be careful about all of that stuff. Now, there's 4 eclipses this year as well. Basically in Gemini, Sag, with 1 in Taurus in November as the nodes move backwards. And I'm just going to get right down to January. Now, okay, so January the 1st, I'm going to write an article about this, but this is the chart. I don't know if you can see this. This is the chart of where the planets are on January the 1st. So this chart is usually like a birth chart for the whole of 2021. And I remember I just looked back at the one I had done for 2020, and basically you could interpret everything that happened in 2020 through that chart. So the moon's in Leo. Excuse me. So it's a party. People are going to be partying. They're going to be upbeat, optimistic. They want to take charge. They want to feel strong. They want to feel like, yeah, we can control things, because 2020, of course, has been such a crazy year. Of course, the moon's in Leo. Okay. Venus and Neptune are in square with the nodes as we go into the new year. Now that aspect was exact yesterday, but we're going into it. So that's a major indication of, again, what's real and what isn't. Everybody's talking about fake news, false news, what do you call them? Conspiracy theories. That's going to be a major issue then, unraveling that, all of this year. I'm a little bit under the weather here. And speaking the truth and revising history and what's real and what isn't. So it's, be careful who gets to rewrite what. The moon is also making a trine, a fire trine, a grand fire trine with Juno in Sag and Chiron in Aries. Mars is still in Aries in his home sign. Saturn is in its strength and its sign as well. And Pluto is still in Capricorn, of course, and will continue to be there all this year. There's 3 Mercury retrogrades this year. What else can we say here? And Uranus and Lilith are still in conjunction in Taurus there. So a lot of freedom for women. I think there was some news about that recently. Okay, too much to talk about for all of 2021. So let's just get down to January. Okay. So Mercury's out of bounds, actually, as we enter 2021, which means that the way people are thinking, talking, communicating is a little bit off the wall, let's put it that way, but it will go inbounds on the 4th. So Mercury conjuncts Pluto in Capricorn at 24 degrees on the 4th. So this is the time to get your serious thinking cap on. Mars enters Taurus, whereas Taurus is in its detriment in Venus' sign on the 6th. But it's good for Taurus people because that's where the action is. So you want to be very practical. Things might be moving kind of slow. You want to get your senses into what's going on this year. Because remember, this is a sensory-driven year. Sensory-driven and also internet-driven. So those 2 things, just like that Saturn-Uranus square, are opposed to each other. How are they going to work together? Push comes to shove. Taurus is unbudgeable. And Taurus rules the bull market, of course, too. Mercury enters Aquarius on January the 8th. Okay, Venus enters Capricorn also on the same day. The Sun sextiles Neptune on January the 8th. That's a nice positive light aspect. On January the 8th and the 9th, Mercury squares Mars in Taurus. So again, we're starting a little bit conflicts about values, what we're thinking, innovation. Again, anything in Aquarius rules the internet, so anything going on the net. On January 9th, Venus in Capricorn trines Mars in Taurus. That's a nice Earth trine, also good for Virgos, because, the planets are mainly moving through the outer, what they call transpersonal signs. They're going to be all bunched together again at the beginning of the year here. Now, on the 11th, Mercury conjuncts Jupiter in Aquarius. So that's good, again, very good for putting the thinking cap on, expanding ideas. Mercury also conjuncts Saturn in Aquarius on the 9th and the 10th. Mercury sextiles Chiron in Aries on the 11th. So that's good to think about or talk about your wounds. On January the 11th, 11/11, Jupiter sextiles Chiron in Aries. So again, Chiron in Aries wants instant healing, wants to walk on fire and be healed, and so that it can be new ideas about how to, just instantly heal through using your mind. Okay. On January the 12th and the 13th, there's a new moon in Capricorn conjunct Pluto at 23 degrees. Now, this is just 1 degree off, and on the same day that Jupiter and Saturn met a year ago. And they are the planets that initiated or instigated, let's say, COVID. So this is interesting, a brand new up-leveling. It's like we're revisiting. It's kind of deja vu, Groundhog Day again. January 12th, 13th, Mercury in Aquarius squares Uranus and Taurus. Again, challenging information. Again, there's this sense of holding on to what's real versus, Aquarius is about the winds of change. And it's pretty rapid, big winds. January 12th, 13th, Venus squares Chiron in Aries. Again, squares are hard aspect where things you might be feeling vulnerable, of course, Chiron in Aries, but the Aries warrior never wants to let down his armor. So there can be difficulty with intimacy, of course. Now, January 13th, Mars squares Saturn in Aquarius. That is a red letter day, January the 13th. So be careful because, when you're dealing with Mars and Saturn, the big malefics, it's hard. It's just hard, Mars is in Taurus, so extremely stubborn, okay? Really Taurus butt heads there. January the 13th as well, Venus trines Uranus. So that's a good positive, relationship changes, connecting with people on the internet. That's money on the internet as well. On the 14th, Uranus turns direct in Taurus. Uranus has been retrograde for a long time. But anyway, it's moving forward. So now you're going to see this sense of, again, radical innovation with the environment and the people. The people want to preserve the earth. January the 14th, Sun conjuncts Pluto in Capricorn, very big power day. If you're following your soul's path, Pluto will bring you wealth and riches, that. Okay. On the 17th, Jupiter squares Uranus, so anything can happen. That's an anything can happen day, kind of, very innovative. Feels like something with some kind of tech stock, something like that. You're going to hear about some new invention, could be scientific breakthrough because of that aspect. Now, January the 19th and the 20th, Sun enters Aquarius. So again, we're getting very airy here. On the 20th, Mars conjuncts Uranus in Taurus. That's the inauguration day in the US, and guaranteed it will not go smooth. Okay, there's going to be some kind of riots going on for sure, just because the energies that day, explosions, radical energy, protests, all of that stuff. That's Uranian energy, Aquarius. The people have to protest. That's really what this is all about. And this is just the beginning. Okay. So January 22nd, 23rd, Mars squares Jupiter in Aquarius. So again, amping that up, Mars pushing Jupiter even more. So expanding that Aquarian protest. There's going to be lots of fires and looting and smashing, and it's not going to be pretty, I don't think. Now, January 23rd, Venus sextiles Neptune. So you can always retreat or pretend you're somewhere else or dream or go into La La Land. That's easy for that. January 23rd and 24th, Sun conjunct Saturn in Aquarius. So again, serious, Sun conjuncting Sirius, a kind of serious stop or an empowerment actually to some freedoms. Okay, January 25th, Sun sextiles Chiron. Again, anytime there's easy aspects to Chiron, it's a good time to go in and unpack or unravel wounds that we haven't really dealt with. Okay, we have the courage with Chiron in Aries. He's a shaman, right? January 26th, the Sun squares Uranus and Taurus again. Big push aspects, like street fighting man kind of aspects. That's what the energy comes to me, but also women. Uranus and Taurus is ruled by Venus, so women fighting for their rights. January 28th, there's a full moon in Leo at 9 degrees. Venus conjuncts Pluto on the 28th as well. That's a beautiful, very positive, very romantic, big money aspect there, Venus conjunct Pluto, but again, can have hard aspects on the market, okay? January 28th, 29th, Sun conjuncts Jupiter in Aquarius. So very good for Aquarians there, for Sagittarius and Pisces. You get to be very innovative on that day. It's a good day to launch anything new in terms of a new business or invention idea, roundtable, networking. And then on January the 30th, Mercury turns retrograde, first retrograde of 2021 in Aquarius at 26 degrees until February the 20th at 11 degrees of Aquarius. Okay. Okay. Now, so what I want to do is talk about the cards now. Okay. So the sun is in Capricorn, which in the tarot is the sign of the devil. Okay. All right. So better the devil you know than you don't. So again, we got to remember that old devil Saturn still at play here for the next 2.5 years, while Saturn is in an Aquarius, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I've got my tarot cards here. I'm using the 22 major arcana of the tarot, plus a couple of extra cards here that I always put in. I have a special card, which I like to call the calling card from your holy guardian angel. And especially because this is the year of learning to connect with your holy guardian angel. That's that card there. It's called, represents something called the Da'at on the Tree of Life. It's an invisible Sephiro. And I've also got another card called the Wishing card, which I like to put in the Nine of Cups, just so if somebody gets that, that's a really nice blessing. Okay, so I'm going to take my cards. I'm going to use my special Herkimer diamond crystal here to clear them. And then I think about you, Aries. So all of you Aries people that are out there, think about what, I can feel you, think about what it is you want to know about for January 2021. Now, if you know your rising sign, if you know your moon sign, if you know what planets you have in Aries, you can also use this card to guide you for that specific planet as well. Okay, now, there you go. Okay, good way to start. Okay, so Aries, you get the card that symbolizes Aries, so the synchronicity is off to a good start here. This is the Emperor or the King. Now, it's still December the 30th here in Toronto, Canada. I know it's December 31st already in Australia and other parts of the world. So this is goodbye to the King, to the Emperor, the number 4. This is the number that 2020 added up to. 2020 was also 22, a master number, which is also the Fool in the tarot. And the number 4, power. So we're saying goodbye to the Emperor, but for Aries people, you need to start a new foundation. Okay, you need to restart again. You need to re-own your power. It is about starting all over again. I know it's been such a hard year, 2020, for most people, you know. I would also recommend that people do a ritual tonight or tomorrow before the new year to let go, a real cleansing ritual with salt, kind of maybe writing down or purging, you know, whatever it is you want to release from 2020, just energetically, okay? All right, so Taurus, what is Taurus got here? Now, Taurus, remember, you've got Uranus in your sign, so I know you're very resistant to change. Uranus is at 6 degrees of Taurus, a long way to go through Taurus, so Taurus. All right, so Taurus, you get the number 9 here, which is called the Hermit. So this is Virgo energy, so also it's energetically connected to you by a trine as an earth sign. So Taurus, you need to take time in January to just sit tight, sit within, learn to cultivate and listen to your own inner wisdom. We could call this card symbol also of your holy guardian angel, but on a very deep, again, that gut instinct level, you know. Taurus has guts. This one's related to the upper digestion. So Taurus, you may want to really watch your digestion. I know people do make traditionally New Year's resolutions if you want to change your diet or eat things that are more plant-based, which is very trendy these days, but maybe that would work for you instead of something so beefy. It might be good for you to try to change up your diet. Good time to reflect, good time to write, good time to read. It's Virgo, take care of any business you need to take care of details. It's about getting very nitpicky about where you want to put your energy as well, I would say. And it's also about thrift. So if you're worried about money, try to save those pennies. Okay, Taurus. All right. Save them up for a rainy day. Okay. So Gemini. Now, the North Node is in Gemini. So all Geminis are supposed to be leading the way. And you are in, you know, in the thick of things right now. Now, the North Node is at 19 degrees of Gemini. So if you're born 19 days into the sign of Gemini, then the North Node is right on your sun. Okay, so Geminis. Okay, now you get this card here, number 14, which is traditionally called Temperance, and it is the sign of Sagittarius. So this is your opposing sign. So this is where you take your two twin natures and you combine them. They become each other. This is the symbol of the number 14, Temperance, combining two different things so that they become something entirely new, so that they can really understand what the other is all about, which is really a great symbol for Gemini as well, don't you think? So Temperance, in this deck, it's called Art, which is also the symbol of alchemy, turning lead into gold. Now, lead is always the symbol for Saturn, that's its metal, and gold is always the symbol of the sun. So turning something dark, heavy, difficult, karmic, into gold, into jewels, into the light, okay? So this is also represents Gemini tying the knot, making a commitment in terms of relationships, having that sense of this is the higher octave of the lovers, which is also Gemini, really making that commitment to the other, which is really entirely inside of you. Being very creative, knowing that you can transmute, you're the alchemist, you can transmute any situation and see what's bright in it. Okay, so people may be coming to you for expertise this year. Again, very creative. Because it's Sagittarius energy, you might not be physically traveling, but connecting on the internet, reading, learning, teaching, good for higher education, being more upbeat. It's Sagittarius, it's about energy, optimism, faith, renewing your faith in life, Geminis. Okay, so you get the art card there. All right, so now, Cancer. Now, Cancer, some signs have no planets really, affecting them this year. Of course, every time it's a full moon, it is like Cancer's time of the month, of course. All right, so Cancers, what do you get? Okay, so Cancers, you get the Lovers. Okay, so the number 6 in the tarot, this is one of the most positive cards in the deck, of course, so that can bring commitment, even if it's up in the ethers, even if it's maybe long distance, because it's Gemini energy. It may be a mental love, it may be more of an erotic love in your mind, maybe something you're reading, talking about, thinking about, writing poetry about. But it can also be very real, Gemini. So the Lovers indicates, again, that sense of union. It's just like relates to the card that came before, which was the Gemini card. Sorry, this is Cancer. So you get the Lovers. So you need to find that union within. Again, the Lovers, the number 6 is the Merkaba. That is a 3-dimensional time traveling, space traveling vehicle. Maybe it's important for you to learn to do that Merkaba meditation, which I would recommend checking out Drunvalo Melchizedek. He is the man who discovered the flower of life. He wrote 2 big books on it. So he's the one who should be credited for the flower of life, that symbol that everybody uses. And so he talks about doing this Merkaba as a meditation. And then you can time travel wherever you want, Cancer. So even if you're at home, of course you love to be at home. So bringing more love, more joy, more positive energy, increasing everything, doubling things up, Cancer. So it's a very positive energy. You should be feeling blessed and grateful for everything you have. Okay. All right. So Leo. All right. Now, because the Moon is in Leo at the start of the year, that's a good indication for Leos. So, of course, Jupiter, Saturn are opposite your sign. Okay. So for you, it's going to make you change things up. Okay. So Leo, you get the Wheel of Fortune here, the number 10. So the number 10 in the tarot, Wheel of Fortune, is about taking risks. Again, because it's ruled by Jupiter, it is about, and Jupiter again is in Aquarius, opposite your sign for all of this year. So everybody who has planets of any kind in Leo, Jupiter will touch by opposition every single one of those planets in 2021. So again, oppositions draw you out. It's always, traditionally, it's like first house, seventh house, first sign, seventh sign, others. So working with others, a lot of business, a lot of things getting going here, moving quite quickly, taking risks is beneficial. It's like lady luck in a way, Leo. So expand your horizons, innovate as much as you can, think differently, network, organize, use your leadership to help others. Now, the thing about Aquarius for Leos is you have to learn to share the power, okay? It's not all about just me, me, me. It's about us, okay? There was a wonderful book that I quote a lot because it reminds me of this, written by Doris Lessing years ago, a British author, an incredible author, actually. And usually she writes novels, but she wrote this series that was a science fiction series. It's called the Canopus in Argo's series. Canopus is a star, and it's about these star beings that came and initiated life on Earth. And one of their intentions for humanity was that the people from Canopus, these ET beings, shared something called the substance of we feeling, which was an acronym SOWF. Now, she wrote about these acronyms. This book came out in the late 80s, I think. SOF, SOWF, and that's what I think the world needs now. We all need to have that substance of we feeling. That to me really describes, Uranus and Taurus and Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius. So Leo needs to take its leadership and share it with the others, because you can't have power unless you share it these days. Okay, so this is a good sign for you, Leo. Okay, so Virgos. Virgo. Okay, what's Virgo got going on here? All right. Virgo, you get this dot card. Okay. So this is very much about, Virgo, connecting with your higher self, feeling that you're worthy. You know, Virgo is traditionally the sign of servants. You need to be of service, but you need to be of service in a much higher way, not just the practical kind of minimal way, in a way, or being too humble. It can be not a good thing as well. Connecting to your higher self through your dreams, through your intuition, through walking in nature. That's always good for Virgos. I know a lot of people are in lockdown, but at least you can hopefully get outside and walk around. So just be aware. Ask your higher self. Ask your holy guardian angel. Everybody has a guardian angel. So there are 4 major archangels. You can always start with them. You know, Michael, Ariel, Raphael, Gabriel. You call them in. Their job is to talk to you, to help you out. You know, even if you're a disbeliever, even if you're too pragmatic, you think, oh, I don't believe in that stuff. Start small and ask them to do you a little favor. Okay, that's okay. They know everything. Actually, watch that movie Wings of Desire, a really wonderful movie about angels and people by Wim Wenders, one of my favorite movies actually. To learn to get in touch with your higher self, your holy guardian angel, and only make your decisions with that. Okay, I know Virgo is a very rational sign ruled by Mercury, so it is also a dualistic sign. So not only listening to your rational side, but also to your intuitive side. So this is going to be a very interesting year for you, Virgo. Okay, so pay attention to your dreams. Learn to meditate. You can do walking meditations. You don't have to sit in a lotus position to do that. Learn about it, read about it, learn about channeling. You know, that would all be really good for you. Okay, Virgo. All right, Libras. Okay, so Libra. I'm sure everybody's glad to get almost all the planets out of Capricorn except Pluto, which is going to be there till 2023, 2024. Okay, but all this Aquarius energy benefits you, Libra. So you get the card number 7 here, which is the Chariot. This is where you begin to feel like you're in the driver's seat. Okay, it's very emotional. It's like Cancer energy. So if you're longing for home, which of course I know many people are, they haven't seen their families, they haven't seen friends, they haven't seen anybody in a year. This is when you really need to nurture yourself, Libra. I know your greatest fear is to be alone. So for a lot of Librans who are alone, except for the internet, you can be feeling very lonely. So you need to really do a lot of self-care, a lot of self-nurturing, a lot of reevaluating what your body needs, what your emotions need, what your feelings need. Again, it's Cancer energy, so your stomach might be acting very nervous, very upset. You need to kind of, again, change your diet. Diet is really important for all of this psychic and spiritual energy, actually, because, again, we're in our bodies. That is the lowest level. It's our temple. So could be very emotional. You could be feeling super emotional at all of the full moons this year, so pay attention to them. It might be a good idea to start to plan to do full moon rituals. I usually write about them and give guided meditations, actually, full moon rituals, to help you get in touch with the flow, the ebb and flow of the moon. So remember, it's a crest, it's a wave, you know, so you ride the top of the crest and then you're going to come crashing down. And when you're at the bottom, just remember you have to come down to come up again, okay? Sometimes this card is also referred to as a victory lap. So what is your victory lap? What can you do to feel really proud and strong and give you a sense of, yeah, okay, I deserve it. I'm a champion. So you got to do that for yourself, Libra. Okay. Number 7, 7-11. Okay. So Scorpios. Okay. So Scorpio now. The South Node is going to enter Scorpio later this year. Okay, so Scorpios are going to be in the mix again. Okay, in Scorpio you get the card associated with you, which is the Death card. Okay, so Scorpios, because you're a fixed sign, and because Jupiter and Saturn are such a powerful combo, especially, you know, just meeting only, you know, 10 days ago, 9 days ago, you know, it initiates this big, powerful purge, you know, a real kind of death on the mental plane, the death of old ideas, old thinking, resurrection of new ideas, rebuilding things, you know. So I think for a lot of you, of course, it's been very devastating. Mostly a lot of people, not everybody, I can't say everybody, a lot of people have experienced death firsthand. There's a lot of fear of death. Scorpios are, more interested and willing to go into the mysteries of death, knowing that there is really no death. I think the more, of course, we love people and we don't want to lose them, but the more we're involved in our egos and in the material world, the more fear we have of death. And I think that's a really important thing to address, because it's only the ego that's afraid of death, not the soul, not the spirit, because they know they're eternal. Okay, they know that it's just like, a revolving door. You go in one door, you come out the other, you come in another dimension. It's our modern Western minds that are so limited and so separated from our souls and real spiritual teachings that makes us afraid of death. So this would be a good time, Scorpio, for you to really understand that, to really work with that energy this year. You could be a major teacher for other people this year as you go into those mysteries. Again, just purging everything that you've been doing. Things are going to be changing up radically. This is just the beginning. It's not like it's all going to instantly change overnight, So you have the courage and the fortitude, and of course Uranus has been challenging you as well. Since 2018, that's going to continue as well. Even more pressure on you as well right now. So really, be the phoenix and die to your own self, and give yourself birth again. Okay, Scorpio, death, rebirth. Okay, so Sagittarius. So Sagittarius, again, South Node and Sag here with Venus and Neptune squaring it today. So you got to really focus on your truth again. What was always true for you? Where was your philosophy? If you feel like you've gotten kind of lost, or you don't know what's going on, or you're overwhelmed with all the, picking up everybody's energy. Sagittarius is very psychic, mystical energy. If you're overwhelmed, picking up all the fear or keeping it at bay, or just, what's going on in the world, you need to kind of stop and replenish yourself and go back to what fed you and what kept you optimistic. It's easy to lose your sense of humor. So you've got the devil here, Sagittarius. Okay, so you have to face your fears, Sagittarius. Whatever it is that's been holding you back, the big, deepest ones, the ones that are the most entrenched in your bones, through your ancestors. Capricorn rules the ancestors. And so a big thing actually about Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius is resurrecting your ancestors and clearing all of that old karmic debt that we're all carrying. Okay. And actually, it's true physically. Scientists now know that we were all eggs in our grandmothers when they were first formed as a fetus. And so we have every feeling, every lived experience that your grandmother had and your mother had. Okay. So we're carrying that heavy lineage. So Sagittarius, you want to understand this. You want to take it to the higher level, confront your fears, laugh at the devil. The devil is just fear, and the biggest fear is fear itself. So again, a lot of people are being controlled by fear. Sagittarians, you're the teachers, you're the philosophers, you're the light bringers in the dark, you're the sages. We need you to step up and speak your truth and, smash through the illusions. That's really what Venus on the South Node square Neptune and Pisces is right now. Okay. And the North Node in Gemini there. So again, you may be needing to speak to younger people or collaborate with younger people or have a balanced way of looking at history, because, Saturn and Capricorn is also about elders. So those of us who've been around on the earth for a number of years, we still have this wisdom that you do not have when you're young, even though people learn things really fast on the internet, and younger people and minds work faster because they're wired to the internet. We still have lived history. So bringing out that lived history and really helping other people not to be afraid. I think that's really important, Sagittarius. So write, preach, teach, whatever it is you have to do, do that. Okay. All right. So Capricorns. All right. So a lot of you are breathing big sighs of relief, of course, because Saturn is finally out of your sign, but ready to go on a new venture here. Okay. So Capricorn, you get the Hangman here. Now, the Hangman here, the number 12, this is the actual way this card works. The Hangman, one of the three special, what they call maternal letters in the tarot. This is a card of kind of spiritual baptism, Capricorn. So it's like washing your soul clean, washing your sins clean, because you're going to get ready to do business in a brand new way. Okay. This is about sharing resources. This is about knowing that it's not about one person at the top. The 1% cannot control everything. It's really all the people at the bottom who have all the power, even though it doesn't seem that way, because they are the ones who feed or support everybody at the top. So letting go, knowing when to surrender, things aren't working. A lot of people have had marriages dissolve, over this last period with Saturn and still in with Pluto at the last degrees of Capricorn for the next while. There are things you cannot control. I know you think that money, power, prestige, all of that stuff gives you power and control, but really it does not. There are things you cannot control, like death for one of them. So no matter how hard you try, you have to give it up, okay, at some point. So give your pride, give your ego up to the universe. There's some things you can't control. So the more you try to hold on to the old ways, Capricorn, it just will not work. This is the force of change, the winds of change. Civilizations do not last. That's history. Look at the history. Innovate. Something has to die for something new to be reborn. Okay, but also don't be the martyr. Okay, so Capricorn, the hangman. Okay, all right. So Aquarius. So Aquarius, you are definitely the stars of the show. This big cosmic spotlight is on you. Are you ready to take center stage? Okay, so here's the big spotlight on you, Aquarius, the sun. The number 19, the highest card in the deck, always very optimistic, joyful, positive. The number 17 associated with Aquarius is called the star. And our sun is a star among millions and billions in our galaxy. So this is about, whatever it is you had to go through. And I know it's been hard. 2020 has been really hard. Very few people saw that it was going to be that tough. This is where you see light. Okay, this is where you see, yes, the sun is going to shine again. You have hope. You're optimistic. You're joyful. You want to celebrate. Whatever small things you have to be joyful for. Just the fact that you're alive. If you're healthy, I spoke to someone yesterday who was 80 years old and he was going, I'm so happy that I'm just alive and I'm healthy despite strokes and this and that. And he sounded amazing. So really one of the big lessons of 2020 is about really living in the moment, being joyous, bringing your own light, knowing that you can make the sunshine. When you're connected to your source, so shining the light on things can be different. We can include everybody. Everybody has the same power. We're going to innovate. Ideally, we're going to change the world so that it does serve the people, that we can use technology to help the earth, to feed everybody, to have a more egalitarian society where everybody's voice and everybody's word deserve to be heard, okay? And no more bullying about other people's ideas. So there is a consensus going on there. So joy, happiness, positive energy. So this is a very good sign for you, Aquarius. Okay. Do be aware though of all those squares to Uranus though. Okay. Now Pisces. Okay. So I hope you're still there and you're hanging out there with me. Pisces, the last of the signs here. All right. What does Pisces got? Okay. So the last of the sign gets the last card. So you can see how the synchronicity works here. This is the number 21. So in the tarot, this is called the world or the universe. So Pisces, you need to realize that you've learned all the hard lessons. That's like Saturn. Saturn rules this card. All the hard lessons, all the tough lessons of last year, your whole life up until now, and go, okay, I take responsibility for creating everything in my life, and now I'm free. I can't blame anybody else. I can't be the martyr, the scapegoat. That's all my own doing. They didn't make me do it. Nobody makes you do anything. Okay. So being totally responsible. That's a hard lesson, I know, but this is the key in the door that will free you. So this is the end of a cycle for you this month. The cards are saying, you have to finish things up. You have to bring things to a closure. This is about work. This is about being mature, responsible, coming out into the world. This is the number 21 card. The 22 major cards in the Arcana represent the Fool's journey, the 0, the Fool, the first card, right through 1 to 21. And after you reach enlightenment, because it is a map about how to reach enlightenment, all the stages you're going to have to deal with. This is where after you've had the enlightenment, like the card of the sun and the rebirth card, you come back down to earth. So this is about being very grounded, very pragmatic, very much taking care of business. I know a lot of you are scrambling just to pay rent, to get food on the table, and that's all there. But it indicates also that you've completed some major lessons in this lifetime and you're ready to go, okay, that's it. I'm finishing things up. I'm free. Okay, the key here is freedom. There's always a naked woman representing the anima, soul, dancing free in space, surrounded by the four non-cardinal or fixed directions there. All right, so Pisces, end of the journey. Okay, so thank you very much, viewers here, Facebook, Cosmic Intelligence Agency, whoever's been watching, I want to thank you very much. I'm Tara Green. If you want to get in touch with me, I'm at taratarot.com. Please sign up to the Cosmic Intelligence Agency. They have wonderful astrologers, you know, seminars, work going on all the time. And I want to wish you all a very blessed, very happy, very healthy 2021. Okay, blessings to you. Thank you.